Well, Iron Banner has come and gone, and you probably have a bunch of allied demands just kind of sitting in your vault, but you don't know if they're good or if you should use them. Well, here's my review, and here's the god roll for the weapon. If you find any of the following content entertaining or useful, be sure to hit that like and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's get into it. The Allied Demand is a 300 RPM adaptive frame sidearm, one of two in its class. The Keening is the other one in the frame type, and if we compare the stats of the Allied Demand and the Keening, they're super similar, but the Allied Demand pulls away from the Keening with the airborne effectiveness stat, which is a huge deal for sidearms, because most of the time you're in close quarters combat and you have to be jumping around to avoid any unnecessary damage. Now, Allied Demand does have 4 less range than the Keening, but the perks make up for it, so don't even worry about that. Overall, the Allied Demand is just a better weapon than the Keening, so I wouldn't recommend using the Keening unless you have a really good roll and you just love it. Alright, well now let's talk about perks, god rolls, and why this gun can be extremely potent in PvP specifically. First, I want to briefly touch on the Iron Banner origin trait, Skulking Wolf. When at low health, if you get a kill, you receive enhanced radar and you are removed from enemies' radars for 10 seconds. Overall, this is a nice little trait, and I've found that the enhanced radar is super helpful, but I haven't noticed it to be a really amazing origin trait. Moving on from there, as far as the barrel goes for this weapon, ideally you want to have arrowhead break for the increased recoil control and handling. If you're okay with the base recoil, Hammerforge rifling is also a solid choice to increase that range and increase your damage over longer distances. For the magazine, it's accurized rounds all the way. That plus 10 to your range is a godsend for any sidearm. In the first trait column, you're looking for rangefinder. To be honest, it's the only trait worth grabbing in this column. The 10% increased zoom is a make or break for the Allied Demand because the base zoom is super low, so that added 10% increase means everything. On top of all that, you gain a 30% increase to the aim assist fall off distance, so you'll be snapping to targets at much further ranges. If you can't find rangefinder, rapid hit is okay, but honestly, rangefinder is superior in every way. Now that we've established that first trait that you want, let's jump into the second column and talk about multi-kill clip. I love multi-kill clip. Personally, I think there's 3 options here, but let me tell you exactly why multi-kill clip is really good on this weapon. Essentially, after you get a kill, multi-kill clip allows you to get a 3-tap kill on your next kill, which is absolutely crazy and super good for sidearms, bringing your TTK down to less than 0.5, which outguns a lot of things. But as I said before, multi-kill clip is not the only perk to choose. Frenzy and Eye of the Storm are both very potent perks. Frenzy is a beast in and of itself, and it offers a 15% damage increase, and it adds plus 50 handling and stability, which is super crazy because you gain all this after being in combat just for a short amount of time. But you may be thinking, how often is this perk actually active because you have to be in combat? Surprisingly, a lot. From the testing that I've done with Frenzy, I've found that the only time that I don't have Frenzy active is when I'm just rotating around the map. So for about 99% of the match, Frenzy is active and it's giving me that plus 15% damage increase and that plus 50 handling and stability, which is absolutely insane. So if you're comparing it to multi-kill clip, you can get that 3-tap, or you can have those stats on every single gunfight you get into. So, you weigh your own odds, you decide which one you like better. But let's not forget about Eye of the Storm. I cannot tell you how many times this perk has saved my butt, especially if you're dealing with a dodgy hunter who just can't sit still. Essentially, Eye of the Storm does this. As your health gets lower, you gain 30 handling, the accuracy cone size decreases by 40%, and the accuracy cone growth decreases by 17%. So basically, the lower your health gets, the easier it is to hit your target. Basically, as you shoot, the bullets have less and less of an area to go, and they're just going to close in on your enemy, which is super good, especially if they're jumping around. You'll win that gunfight most of the time with Eye of the Storm. Now, before I establish my god roll, I want to say that range stability and handling masterworks are all super good here. They each have different boosts, and it's all up to the player who's holding the gun to choose that. But for me, it's going to be the range masterwork. I just want to be able to hit those targets at a little bit further range than the gun actually gives you at base. Now, finally, what about that mod slot? What are you going to put in that mod slot? Well, honestly, there's 3 options. We got Icarus Grip, Targeting Adjuster, and Full Auto Retrofit. Now, I've tested it out without Full Auto Retrofit, and I felt like it's really good. But that Full Auto Retrofit just gives you the ease of use and gives you the edge on a lot of gunfights. So I think Full Auto Retrofit is the way to go on this weapon. That being said, if you can deal without Full Auto, definitely go for that Icarus Grip so you can jump around and be super accurate in the air. All that being said, I was not fortunate enough to get a good god roll from this Iron Banner, but I will be hunting down one in the next. And the god roll that I'll be hunting for is Arrowhead Break, Accurized Rounds, rangefinder, Eye of the Storm with a range masterwork. I think this god roll is going to absolutely shred because the time that I've had with this gun without the god roll, without rangefinder, or any of the really good perks, I've really enjoyed my time and it's been super, super potent. So should you go after this next Iron Banner or should you pull this out of your vault? Absolutely, it's an amazing weapon, and if you pair this with something like Gerfalcon's Vest for the Hunter, you're going to do crazy damage and your enemies are not going to know what hit them. Let me know if you were lucky enough to get a god roll down below, or what perks you're looking for, or if there's a god roll that I haven't suggested that you really want. As I said before, if you enjoyed any of this content or found it entertaining, leave a like down below and hit that subscribe button. It would mean so much to me. We're super, super small right now, but we're growing pretty fast and I want to be doing this for a long time. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you and I hope you have a wonderful day.